Hello, IT team. Today we will be working on a conference flyers, how to create, how to upload them, and how to notify the requesters about the conference flyers. To do this exercise, make sure you have your Joomla account. If you don't have it, there should have been an email with the subject New Bethel Joomla admin access for, and also your username and password inside there so that you can use it. The conference flyers, we're going to create the flyer using Adobe Photoshop CC or Elements. I won't go through great detail of that, but I'll give you some ideas, showing you how to store the flyer on Google Drive and notify the requesters of the flyer. Actually, we'll show you how to not attach the flyer to email and send it to them, but actually send them the actual link to the flyer. So that if you have back and forth changes, you can, you and the requester can view the same changes at the same time. Also, how to upload the flyer when it's finally done and complete. That the requester and the IT team has agreed that the flyer is ready for production. How to upload it to the website as a web page and on the front page slideshow advertisement. Step 1, create the flyer using Adobe Photoshop CC or Elements, and then I'm going to show you some useful templates in graphicriver.net. I won't go through creating an actual flyer, but I want you to be aware that this is the tools that you will be using. But I do want to point out this website and maybe some others. Here's a website, graphicriver.net, that I often use. There are others out there as well. Creative marketing is one that I tend to like. Creative market, I should say, where you can actually, I'll go through both of them, and there's plenty of websites out there for Adobe Photoshop templates. But if I were doing something like the women's or the men's conference, I would go back here under Graphic River. You will have to set up an account. If it's your personal account, you can. These templates are fairly cheap, $9, or you can use a church credit card should they supply you one. I would recommend that you all get with the those who hold on to the finances and get a IT team credit card, so you all can attach it to this site, and any flyers that you would like to buy, you could do so. That's my recommendation. But you would actually go up under print. There are other locations you can go to, graphics and other presentations and so forth. But normally you go up under print and then flyers on the graphicriver.net site. Once you get there, you can type in some keywords. We'll use women's conference. Let's say you would create flyers for a women's conference. You would use women's conference. And then scroll down and find flyers that you would like to use for the women's conference and so forth. Let's say I'm going to go back up and I'm going to use this one right here. I like this guy, Seraphim. He goes by several names out on his site, Seraphim Chris and Seraphim Black, and maybe there's some other Seraphims. What I like about him, he always puts the dimensions in the header. He's very professional, and he actually has some of the best flyers out here on this site. He does a lot for churches. But notice when you're doing flyers, you're doing a banner, and which is normally in landscape. When you put up a banner inside of the church, you want it to be in a landscape format versus portrait. Landscape meaning it going horizontal, it's stretching horizontal. Portrait meaning it's stretching up and down. You'll notice by the dimensions, if the first number is the largest and the second is the smallest, you'll know that that's a landscape template. If it's vice versa, then it's portrait. So let's say we want to use this one. You can go inside the template, take a look at it, and let's say you want to buy it and download it. You can buy it. I won't go through all those steps, but it presents you with various options. On these sites, they show you if it was Photoshop, what version of Photoshop. If you got the latest version of Photoshop, you should be fine. It shows you the way the dimensions of this, the 2 dimensions. If you want to do the 11 by 8.5 and 6 by 4. Now banners normally are 6 feet by 4. They're either 6 by 3 or 6 by 4s. So that's something important to remember as you're looking for banners. These are the fonts that once you download the actual banner, the actual Photoshop file, these are the actual fonts that you'll want to go out and download and install in computer as well. You always look under the typeface section. You need those before you have to. And Dfont is a great site. Dfont is where I normally find all of my fonts. Thefont.com. Thefont.com. So if they have a template out there and they want you to download this template, make sure that you download the fonts that go along with it as well. I won't go through downloading it, but I do want to note on this site, if you set up an account, and I highly recommend that, whether it be personal or account for the IT team, using your email, as you're going through, add some to your favorites or to your collection. I normally create a collection that I like, so I'll create a collection and call it men's conference flyers or women's conference flyers or something flyers, and then collect all the ones that I like in there so I can go back and choose at some point which ones I want to buy. So I wanted to point this site out. You can download the file and start working with it. Same thing on Creative Market. You can over here. I'm gonna just do men's conference. Which it can be the same. Same thing here. You can go through, do the same thing on this site. Great site. And as you notice on both of these sites, templates are between $11 to $3. I've seen them even cheaper than that. But between $11 to $3. On average, $9, $8 and $9 is what is really on average what you'll buy for a template. This one is not as organized by, I would say, flyer per se. Well, I'm sorry, it is. I do apologize. Up under themes, they do have, or templates, they do have flyers. And so then you can filter at that point, men's conference. And so to pull back, related. And you can go through and, click on something. I'm going to just choose this as an example. Again, you can purchase it the standard. You don't have to do the extended license, but you can. Again, Seraphim, he's on this site as well. He's very popular among a lot of the Christian flyers. A lot of people pull from his stuff, and it shows you what types he has. He has a Word document version of it, and he has a Photoshop file version of it. Somewhere on his site, he gives you dimensions as well. Again, notice, the numbers, and I do believe he even provides you the typeface, the font to go along with it. Font Squirrel's another place. If the artist recommends you download from a particular website, go to that website when you download the fonts, and make sure before you open Adobe Photoshop that you have this font installed on your computer first before you open the template, because if you open the template without that font being installed, it will make a notification when you try to open it. Next, we want to store the flyer on Google Drive once you've created your Adobe Photoshop image, and send a note to the requester. Some tips here that will help you. I want to show you this real quick. You will go to your to the google.com and log in with the IT team Google Drive, or you should already have an account already connected with your personal Gmail account, where you can go in and upload. But you will go into to the Google Drive for the IT team. I actually use an app on my computer. Let me minimize that. I normally use an app. I even use this Google Drive app as well. But let me use the website for a moment, and I'll go back to the app. You can go out to the website if you're logged in, or you can go to your Google Drive, and I encourage you all to always do this. Save your files out here. You go to up under New Bethel Graphics, and then you choose whatever conference or event that you're doing. I'm going to just use Women's Conference, for example, just because at the time that I was doing this video, I was helping Sister Kathy Carew with the 2019 women's flyer. But I normally encourage people, just like you do in Explorer, and I'll even use the app. There's an app that you can install on your computer. Google Drive has apps on Mac and Windows and other devices, and you can install that and then connect as well. Very similar to the browser, but again, you can go down through the path. Make sure you're up on the New Bethel Graphics and go down to whatever conference, or in the women's conference. In case of women's conference, I'll use. You can go out and you can right click and create a new folder. You can do it the same thing in the browser as well. You can right click and create a new folder. Whenever I'm doing an event, I always create a folder for that year, and I put all the files in there, the Photoshop files, the image files, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But when you go in, and I would just use an old like last year's 2018, I would put the photo. You can organize it however you choose, but oftentimes I would even put in that folder a PSD folder, which means Photoshop files, the original files that you can use if you want to go back and change it. Or this is sort of like at work where we use SharePoint. We save these things out in the location, not on our local hard drive. We save the Adobe Photoshop file on our local hard drive when we're working on, the flyer. But when we're done, I save those files out there in these locations, so other people on the team can actually make modifications. If it's on your PC, nobody can, but I also upload the images and so forth out there in these folders. So I wanted to point that out concerning where you store these files once you're done with your banner and your Photoshop file. Please remember that. That's important. Please remember that. If I was saving file names, these are some of the file names that I would choose. But you can come up with whatever file names. But the important part is to put these out in the folder. And the reason why I also wanted to bring that up is because whenever I'm gonna just go back to the 2019 folder, for example, and I'm just showing you in the app and in the browser. You can choose whichever one you decide to use. Most people will probably use the browser, but also out here you will you can, let's say you finally drop some files into this folder right here, your Photoshop files and all that, and you want the person who was requesting it, whether it be for the women's conference, probably First Lady Murphy, D'Amica Marshall, or some others, or if it was for the men's conference, Elder Roderick Johnson, Elder Martin, or Brother Clayton, and others. You could just download the file itself and attach it to an email and send it to them. Or, and I recommend this is the way I done it, was I put my files out here, and instead of attaching them to an email, just send them the link. And the way you send them the link is you just go to the folder that the file is located in. You click on Get Shareable Link. Then you can share the settings, and then click Copy. And then you can put that in an email and email it off to them. So maybe I want to email that off to them. I basically can copy and paste that into an email, and tell them, whoever it is, I'm emailing you all. Let's see. Women of Destiny, or whoever, email them the link basically that I copied out of there. Or you might even want to text it to someone. So that just makes it easier, rather than trying to attach the file and have several back and forth conversations via email with them, and you're attaching this image and that. You just send them the link. Just every time you reply to them, just reply with the link. Just copy that link out. And again, I'll show you that again. So if I finally drag some files up here, the actual image, the JPEG file, you can even put the Photoshop file up here too. I recommend that. They won't be able to see that, but they won't be able to open it, but you always want to put the image file out there, if anything, and put the Photoshop file out there for the developers on the team, on the IT team, and even for the print shop, who will eventually get this link as well. They might need to make modifications for their printout. But the key is, whoever you send this email to, you click on that link. Let's do it again. You click on either here, or you can click on here. If you click here, you can get the shareable link, and it'll copy it. Or you can click here on the folder itself, get shareable link, go here, and you can click on it, copy, or click share, copy link, and it puts in your clipboard, and you can paste it right into your text message or your email. So that's the point I wanted to bring out about the folders. Step 3, uploading the flyer to the website, to the actual web page and Joomla article and the front page slideshow. I want to show you both of these, and you really need both of these. So once you've had your back and forth conversations with your the team, the people or group or department, ministry that was requesting the flyer, once y'all come to a conclusion that you've like what the flyer looks like and all, now it's time to upload it to the web page using Joomla and to the front page slideshow. So there's a link to it on the website. I will say, before I show you those pages, the front page slideshow is one we'll be showing you inside here as well. There's that link is in Joomla up under front page slideshow. When you get in the front page slideshow, you'll want to be able to create links under the events section, and put your context out there. You want that image to be 549 by 256 as well. So let's see. So you've created your image and all that, and we're going to use the women's conference as an example. So you're going to log in. Apologize here. Once it logs in, you can go to the article manager. You click on the article manager. Normally, we've already created an event already, and we've used it for years, since 2011. And so these events should already be out there. So you can go ahead, so you don't have to add an article, a web page. Just search for that existing article and change the information on it. So to do so, you click on Article Manager. I'm going to use Women's Conference, for example. I'm going to search for that web page or article. Click Women. That'll bring back everything. Then I click on Women's Conference. Once it allows you in, you'll let me maximize this so you can see. You can go in and I normally, if I'm starting brand new, I reset the counter. That's one of the first things I do. Once I get here, I'll change the author to whoever's uploading it. You can change it to whoever here in your list. And then I normally would delete this one because it's the old one, and then reinsert the new one once I'm done. So I would delete that one. I won't delete it for the sake of right now, but when y'all are making changes. But the next thing I would do is click the image button to upload it, begin the upload process. I will open the events folder. Then I would choose the file locally. And I'm just going to choose any file locally that I have on here. I'm not going to upload it just so you can see what's going on. But you would choose the file locally that actually has the JPEG file or PNG file, not the Photoshop file, the JPEG file, the actual image. I would click the start upload button. I'll click that. You'll see it. You'll wait, and you'll notice after a while you'll see a new thumbnail pop up here with the image that you just loaded. Then I would click on that image. I'm gonna just assume I loaded this. I would click on that image and then click the insert button. And when I'm done, it'll pop open the image here. And any old images, you can delete those off this page. Then I would click the apply button. Then I would go to the website, and look at the page that I was making changes to, and see if my changes displayed. I'm just going to pull up the women's conference, for example. So this is 2018, but if you was uploading the 2019 or the 2020 or the 2021 image, this would display there. So that's how you upload the image. And take note of the link. The same thing with the men's conference. If it was like the men's conference or any other event, the Vacation Bible School or whatever it might be. I'm going to just close this. I'm going to go back and I'm going to search on men. So we'll look for the men's conference. There it is. Let me click on that. So like this one displays the 2018 men's conference. You would do the same thing. You would reset the counter, change it to whoever was making the change. You click the image button. You would click the events. You would upload the file using the choose file. You would click the start upload button. Once it's uploaded, then you would find the image that you want. You would select it, and then you would click the insert button. And then it'll be done. And you would click apply. And you would go to the site and look for, in this case, the men's conference. See if you would look for that page, or whatever page that you're looking at, and see if your changes show up. You might want to take, and you would probably want to take note of the link that it's located at for the front page slideshow. So speaking of the front page slideshow, that's where we'll go next. So let's say you finally got your image done. Oh, by the way, let me make a very important note about this. Make sure that this image that you upload, I have file name recommendations. Let me display those to you. So for file names for conference flyers, I recommend something like this, and I'm using the women's conference, but these are all the events that you have. I normally start out with the Photoshop file name, name it as whatever, the year, and then whatever the event name is, and maybe pin the word flyer, and save it as a Photoshop extension. But then when I finish with that and I'm ready to send it off to the requesters and let people see it, I'll save it in its regular size. I would save it as a .jpeg file or even a .png. So I keep the same name file. But here's where it gets a little different. I'm gonna skip down here to the image first. So this is what you're gonna be uploading to the site. The site is 980 pixels, so I normally take that Photoshop file right there and I resize it when I'm ready. After I've had a back and forth with the users of this image, the requesters of this image, and we solidified what the images are going to look like. Now I'm ready to upload it to the website, and I resize that file. I'll create another file, and I'll resize it to 980 pixels in width. It'll automatically resize the height. Don't worry about that part. But you want to concentrate on the width, the width from left to right, horizontally. This file name format is recommended for the banner on the website or image on the website. Prefix the file name with the word article. So I append the word article. That just lets you know that this is going to be the image that's going to be used on the web page. This is normally 980 pixels. I want to point that out. Very important before you upload it to the website. Also, front page slideshow, which I'm about to show you in a minute, we do the same as well. This is where you take that same image and you resize it down to 549 256, and you have to make it fit in that so that it looks well on the, it looks good on the front home page for the New Bethel Church website. But I name it as such. And all four of these files, 1, 2, 3, 4, I put them all in the Google Drive. I put all four of those files out on the Google Drive, as we talked about earlier. I'll put all four of those files in this Google Drive here, up under the folder, in that folder. I did that. You can see I did that, or others have did that as well here. Keeps things organized so everybody knows where everything is at. So let me cancel out of here. Let's go to the front page slideshow up under components. So components, front page slideshow, and then you go filter in the categories. You filter on events. So whatever the latest events are. So if you want to create something for the women's conference now, you create an event, you create new. I would recommend, after you create this event, even after it expires, leave it out there so you don't have to do this again. Once you create the event, it takes you to this page. You're gonna remember that URL I was telling you about. You might want to keep that for the men's conference or the women's conference or whatever. If you have that out there, I'm gonna just pull up. Let me just go here. Let's pull up the women's conference. Let's say you were doing the women's conference and you got that link out there. You'll want to copy that link and use a custom URL. So right here you would paste the URL. Right here you would say women's conference. Right here is where you will actually upload the actual image, whatever it might be. And we're not gonna actually save it, but just for your information. So it'll put that image right there. Then you'll want to click on the advanced settings and then set the date that the event is going to start displaying on the front page. Whatever date you all choose. I normally try to do this a month ahead of the event, or a minimum 2 weeks ahead. Minimum 2 weeks ahead. So that's why you need to work out all the details of the back and forth of as much as possible. Try to make sure that your flyer is complete so that you can upload that in a timely manner on the site, on the front page slideshow and the web page. So I'm gonna just choose a date for now, and a finish date, a start date and a finish date. I'm gonna say April 30th, whatever it might be. I'm not gonna save this, but if you was to save this, you would click Save button, or you can click the Apply button, and then you can go to the home page, and you can watch your event scroll through here. It'll scroll through once you're complete. I'm not actually doing an actual front page slideshow, but you get the concept, you get the idea here. And that's pretty much it. You're pretty much done at that point with doing all this. So we stepped through creating a flyer, using Adobe Photoshop CC and Elements, I can show you how to do that offline, or someone on the team. I recommend somebody on the team. But I showed you the Graphic River website. Showed you in Google Drive how to store it, how to capture the link and notify the users where you stored that flyer, so you don't have to keep attaching it to emails, the flyer to emails. Just send them the link. Same for the print shop, just send them a link. Upload the flyer to the website, how to do that. We just showed you how to do that in both Webpage and the front page slideshow. Alright, that concludes our lesson for today. Thank you.